people didn't know my mouth was watery and actually dry. And I thought, I had two little dueling voices. One saying, why don't you faint? People will feel sorry for you, and they'll come and they'll help you, and you can get out of it. And the other one, I had dueling voices. I actually wrote an article about my dueling little voices, inner voices. One I called the commander, because I spent 20 years in the Navy Reserves, and the other one was little Debbie, who was a little childlike person. And they're dueling. And the other one's saying, well, you're gonna have to quit your job then, because you're gonna have to come back in a week or so and do it again. Well, I won, but I did learn that one of my biggest stressors was this. Okay, so we have a battery issue. What the rest of it shows really is the physiological and the autonomic nervous system. When we have chronic cortisol, which is only one of 1,400 chemicals that are activated by negative hormones, it stays in our body, and cortisol has like a half-life of 14 hours. The positive emotions, and just one of many that are activated when we're able to feel joy or activate a positive emotion, is DHEA. It's used to be called, well, we used to refer to it incorrectly as the anti-aging hormone and things like that. And one of the things that we were taught to say is, don't go out and buy it. Don't go out and buy bottles of DHEA. You may learn differently, but our ability to naturally activate that chemical in our bodies is very, very powerful. And that helps regulate it. We have a quadrant of that we call the emotional grid, and it has 4 quadrants. There are high energy, perfect stuff. This, when we have a lot of stress in our lives, our autonomic nervous system is herky-jerky. It's like driving a car. Brake on, brake off, brake on, brake off. Sympathetic pathway, high pulse rate, parasympathetic low, relaxation, adrenaline, acetylcholine. Our hormonal system, cortisol, 14-hour half-life at a minimum, and you all are much more current on your chemistry. But this is the high level, and when I teach this to doctors and all, I send them to the research, because it's there. But DHEA, it's in balance. High cortisol, high DHEA. Cortisol is activated with negative emotions associated with stress, anger, anxiety, those types of things. DHEA is activated with positive emotions, joy, peace, ease, calmness, submission and despair, success, well-being, and the ability, when we're over here and we're in the middle of the grid, which is where coherence lies, when we're there, we're the smartest. You know, stressed out people, one of the analogies I give is why smart people do dumb things. Because they do not think smartly when they're under a lot of stress. It's how I was able to many, many times hold my own with angry, screaming physicians. 5 minutes, okie dokie. Negative emotions, positive. One of the things I want to tell you about this is once our negative emotions are activated, like a police officer responding to domestic violence, the heart rate and the blood pressure can stay elevated for a couple hours after that. That's not positive. That's not good. It causes end organ failure over time. Inhibits brain function when we are in it, and when we're incoherent, angry, all those things. It drains our energy. This is what we want to see, and we saw part of that when you demonstrated. We would go back and we'd look at, initially you start talking about what stresses you, you can move into this over time and be there much more frequently. We're energy systems, we expend and we renew. Energy, we want to learn how to use our energy most effectively. Constant energy drains lead to burnout. These are emotions, fear, frustration, accelerated aging, all those things. We have to plug those energy drains. All of the positive emotions that we can generate lead to all these wonderful things. I think as healthcare people, we've got to learn to manage our own stress before we believe that we can be optimum healers. How can we do it if we can't manage our own stress? We have to, or we'll never be as good as we can be for our patients, the therapeutic use of self. So they have so many tools that are helpful. But again, I like to downplay the tools. I don't use them much anymore at all. I am able to tell when I'm coherent and not coherent. So just a quick retail, they did many, many studies. I can't publish Mayo Clinic studies, even though it was reported through the IRB. It's just part of their copyright stuff, but I had similar results. This was a very small study on pharmacists. They were able to show significant reductions, fatigue, anxiety, depression, all those things were much better. And self-reported 40 to 71% reduction in med errors. This is another one that we participated in. 2002 to 2012, the percent of participants who responded often and always. And this is a good group of people. That's the improvement there. Sleep adequacy, body aches less, rapid heartbeat less, muscle tension, all those types of things. Improvements in mental and emotional well-being. These results are always positive. There hasn't been a study that they've done, and I've participated in several where you found the reverse to be true. What we do find is that not a lot of organizations go for the 6-month retest for the sustainability. But I was able to get that done, and we were able to show sustained performance after 6 months. So improvements in positive outlook, gratitude, motivation, calmness. And what I did was a quick coherence technique with you. It's focus your attention on the area around the heart, and there's a reason for that, and that's because that area, any area, our finger, our toe that we focus on, causes a physiological response to that area. And so that's known, and that's why focusing around the area of the heart affects the musculature, the chemicals, and whatever in that area. So thank you. And we have a few minutes for questions. Oh, just one.
How long is the training?
You know, it can be offered in a series of workshops. This was an appetizer, and it doesn't do it justice, this Lunch and Learn. I like to offer it over 5 to 6 weeks, 1 to 2 hours at each session. When I do individual coaching for patients, I recommend 5 weeks, about 1 to 2 weeks apart. There's a workbook that they work on, and so there's feedback, and it's either in person or by telephone. Telephone coaching is very effective, but I like the face-to-face for at least the first time and maybe the final one. And they learn how to use the tools. Coaching also goes for students or anybody. This is so effective in test anxiety and things like that. But it seems like that works the best. It can be done in 2-hour sessions 3 times, and there are different modules. There's intuition, there's heart mapping, there are multiple different segments that people can explore based upon their personal interests and what they think their patients they would benefit from. I found the intuition stuff very fascinating, and I'm a mind mapper. And so learning to do heart mapping on top of that helped me set my career goals and things like that once I knew that technique.
How affordable are the tools?
Well, you know, if people take the class, I offer my own personal discount. I think these are around 100. You can go online. I think they're around 100. The computer program is well, let's see. Oh, and there is a great one for your iPhone, Inner Balance, and they all connect online to your computer so you can track your progress over time. I love the iPhone app. So, I think this might even be an old one, but the iPhone app, 129. The M-Wave 2 is about 200. The computer one is a couple hundred. And they also have excellent books. The copyright date of the books is a little bit old, but they're timeless because that science, as they keep working on it, may be clarified, but the original tenets of it are very, very good. I teach online for a couple universities, and I don't like if students use references that are more than 2 to 5 years old. But for this stuff, some of Hans Selye work and those things, it doesn't change. It just, stuff gets built.
And stay tuned because we're in the process of getting this offered. It's been approved already as a course, as an elective here, but we're in discussion about having it offered in the winter on Wednesday nights, most likely, and as an elective. So at that point, you'd get training week by week, plus hands-on training, in addition to the science, and potentially access to the technology demo.
Yes, I would include that in here, and I would include my discount for students that wanted it.
And it's a great, we've used it, I've used it at SCNM in the clinic with patients, and they love it, and they can see difference. So it's a wonderful, affordable tool for managing stress and also showing them with numbers that it's working. You can chart it, so that's lovely.
And the games they're really
Games are fun, yeah.
They are, you float your hot air balloon, and if your mind is skipping and going away, your hot air balloon sinks. But you can keep it floating. There's one I love, it's a beautiful black and white garden, and as you get yourself into a more coherent state, green on our little sensors, it lights up with animals, and it's just fun.
So I realize you probably have classes at 1, so we're going to let you go. I am gathering your emails in case you want more information, and we'll keep you posted. And we will also send an email out to the entire school, assuming this is offered in the winter. So.
And we need people to express interest. It was going to be offered in the fall, but we didn't really have any lunch and learns, and unless there's a student interest.
We need at least 10 people to come into the class in order to
Yeah.
confirm that it'll be offered in the winter, but I think we have enough of that from last time and this time. So, thanks again.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
And have happy holidays, and please remember, this is one of the most stressful times of the year.
All right, so this is yours. It's in here somewhere. She said, this thing?
Alright, here we go. Last one's here.
Thank you. Have a wonderful holiday season. Get a break soon.
Yeah, I saw your computer you have at UCW. I haven't heard of it.
Yes, I teach there.
Oh, great, okay.
Oh, what, Boulder or what part of Denver?
So, actually, let's talk to
In,
you.
kind of Five Points.
It is a little
Okay, my
heavy on the
sister
liver,
lived in Fort
but
Collins.
it's
Oh, yeah, sure.
nothing you can't like get over.
Yeah, I teach online, so.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, thank you.
It's helpful. Like,
Yeah, my boyfriend's from
maybe like shocked that I know where it is.
Are you going back?
I'm not sure. I'm only my first year, so it seems very far away to decide where to set up
does.
shop and all that. But I would love to go back to Colorado. I love
Colorado is such an open state too. I mean, I believe, my husband and I were looking at Colorado. I believe they embrace naturopathic medicine.
They do, yeah. I guess it kind of depends on where you are, because
It does.
it's one of those states that's very polarized. It seems
Yes.
like you're in the urban areas, and it's so liberal, I guess, for lack of a better word, and then the everywhere else is.
That's how Arizona is.
Right, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, 'cause Tim and I spent 20 years there. Yeah, and I worked for Mayo Yin and Yang, right?
Right.
I remember we were at some